Craftin buddies. It's Lori, late night Lori from Lori's Little Bit of Craftin, coming to you from a messy crafting desk. We have sound, that's a good thing. That is a good thing. Let me get my other device set up. And we'll get busy. Busy. Silence that one as well. So I remembered to restart my phone. And let's go. Alrighty. So, welcome. We're going to pretend that it's Sunday, February 15th at 11:59 p.m. I'm 10 minutes late. I know. It just is the way things go sometimes. So how is everybody? We'll go through a couple of quick announcements. We're going to do a little experimentation tonight. We'll see how that goes. So, all of my things, Stampin' Up, you can find me, latenightLori.stampinup.net. See all the things that are going on, what's coming up, my store, the whole bit. One of the big things right now, we've only got a couple of weeks left until March 2nd when you join Stampin' Up, join my team. I'd love to have you on my team. Excuse me. But you get to receive the new Stampin' Positioner automatically for free. That's a $49 value. You can also purchase the grid paper that goes with it. But the deal, the joining deal, hello, Jeanette. Welcome from Arkansas. I have my note. I uncovered it just earlier today when I was going through my desk. Welcome. So if you're not a demonstrator already, or if you're not working with a demonstrator, I'd love to have you join my team. You get to pick out $125 worth of product. You only pay $99. You don't have to pay shipping, and you get this positioner for free automatically. You don't have to do anything about it. So those of you who are local to me, tomorrow we've got Monday open studio time. So far, nobody said they're going to come play. So let me know if you're going to come play. Wednesday, we've got coffee and a card. I know there's a few people already signed up for that one. The 19th is the virtual class, the craft class, this Lovely Blossoms. If you haven't ordered it yet, it's not too late to order the class. You can watch it live. You can work with whatever things you have in your stash. You can order the products, the suite that goes with it, if it's available. I haven't looked. Excuse me. And then you can watch it on demand at your leisure afterwards. All right. And then I'm going to try to do a Zoom team open office hours later in the month. So we'll see if that works. All righty. Bonus days. If you earned them, now's the time to burn them. If you got your coupons for making a purchase between January 6th and February 2nd, you only have until February 28th to use those. So don't lose them. All right. That's my dilly. That's all my announcements. What's new? What's new with you, Jeanette? The last couple of nights, we have been playing with the Easter basket bundle, which is really cute. I finished. You've been sick. Well, that's no good. My husband's been sick all weekend. He's been coughing really bad, and we had our granddaughter here over the weekend, so he stayed away from her, and she and I had kind of like a girls' weekend. It was fun, but I think he felt a little left out. So I hope you're not too horribly sick, and that you're on the mend with any luck. Hopefully it's something that'll just quickly run its course. So I'm going to show you a couple of the cards and things we've made over the last couple of nights. These baskets were the first thing we did. Holy cow! So you've obviously not just had a cold, you've probably had like the flu or something. Heck of a way to go on a diet. That's never a fun way to do it. I'm glad you're getting better though. Wow. No fun being sick, even if you do want to lose weight or not. It's just no fun to be sick. So with this first box, or the first basket we made, I did just the standard little box and put the basket on each sides of that. The next night, I took the suggestion of one of the gals on my team, and she did her box a little bit different and moved the handles. She cut the handles off the outsides of the basket and then affixed them to the middle. And I thought that was really cute. Thought that worked really well. That's pretty substantial weight loss. As long as you're trying and you didn't just lose weight from being sick, good for you. I could stand to lose about a lot. I'm going to have to get one of my little cough drops out. You know, I don't think I talk enough during the day because when I come live is when I start to cough. It's kind of crazy. So here's a couple of the cards we did. I think last night we did these. I love the little wobbles. We added some of those little googly eyes, which reminds me I have to order more of those because I'm out of them now. This one we didn't do the googly eyes, but I still put them on the wobbles. I didn't have them all finished last night. I hadn't put the bows on them, and I think that kind of adds to these cute little critters. This one I didn't have. I don't think I had the eyes on all of these. This one we put the eyes on as well. And the eyes on that one. I thought those were cute. So these backgrounds, thank you, Jeanette. Just make sure that you're eating enough. All right, you got to take care of yourself. The backgrounds for these cards came from the designer series paper. It's a specialty designer series paper, Easter Joy. And it actually, as an unusual feature, is a specialty paper with metallic on it, but it's two-sided. Usually when we have metallic papers, they're not two-sided. But this one I discovered is, it's a multicolor foiling that's on here. And it's actually another sheet that's it's like adhered right onto the paper. And then you've got the regular designer series paper on the back. So that was kind of interesting. I had a strip and I ripped it and it came off and it was like a piece of foil that's been colorized. And that was pretty slick. But anyway, the backgrounds that I used here were these postcard pieces. There were two sheets that had 6 postcards basically to make all your little card fronts. So that's what I used for those. I'm going to use one more of those tonight. And like I said, we're going to kind of do an experiment. And I've got just a thick, basic white card base. We're going to go ahead and put this on the front. It would be, I would like to actually tear this to make it look kind of casual. But because the way this paper is made, it won't rip. Because of that extra, I don't know if you can see that, but if I rip it, I'm going to peel off that foiling piece. So what I'm going to do is just kind of fussy cut around here and make it kind of cloud-like. Without making a straight line, we'll just make it kind of casual. And then I can show you too how that foiling is on here. Hopefully this will be about the right size. I just didn't want it to look so square. I wanted it to look kind of casual. And I'm not exactly sure how this is going to look. I did not make a prototype. I have things in my head how it should work, and we'll just see if it does. All right, so that hopefully is small enough. Nope, it's not. It's still too wide for our card. So I'll have to do a little bit more off of each of the sides, which means we're going to get rid of some of the flowers on here because I still need an 1/8 inch or so. Anybody else that's joining, feel free to let us know where you're joining from. Join into the conversation. It's always more fun when we're chit-chatting. Let's see how this works. That's kind of there. I'm just going to take a little bit more off of there, I guess. I should probably have trimmed that closer to size before I started so that you wouldn't be bored watching me just fight with this layer, but I think that'll work. That'll be good at this point. All right, so let's get rid of this stuff. So I want to show you, if I can, when we rip this paper, it might not work because this is so narrow. There we go. You can see this foil that's on here. Can you see that? So it's actually like foil that's been colorized that they've stuck onto the paper. So this is tacky. It's got some kind of adhesive stuff on it. So I thought that was really interesting. I've never noticed that in any of the specialty papers before. And I do remember hearing an announcement from Stampin' Up! That it was going to be two-sided because it's colored foiling on there, which I thought was pretty cool. So anyway, I made a bunch of these bunnies, and I did that with the new Stampin' Positioner. Hey, Allie. We're good. How are you? Well, we're not exactly good because Jeanette has been sick, but she's well enough to join us tonight. Hi, Rosa. All right, so here's our Stampin' Positioner. So, Jeanette, you weren't here the last couple of nights, but I made a template. I put a square piece of paper. This works. I don't know if you're familiar with this, but there's a guide as to where to put your corner so that you're actually kind of working diagonally on this one. If you had a Stamparatus, it's similar but different. So I laid my stamps on here, and then I put my plate on, and I picked up my stamps. And I had pre-cut, well, then I die cut what I stamped on there so that I have a template. And then I cut out just a bunch of these that weren't stamped so that all I had to do was put them in there and then stamp my design on there. So that's a fun way to use the Stampin' Positioner. Oops. All right, and then I have a little itty bitty glue booger there, and I might be able to use that as a glue dot. All right, what my thought is tonight is we're going to put this on here, and we're going to use one of our little bunnies, and we're just going to make a cute little card front. But I want to work a little bit on the inside because that's where the experiment is going to come in. Because I'm not sure how it's going to work. okay? But I did want to show another trick that I discovered earlier today for weaving the baskets. Aren't these pastel ones cute? This is the Pretty in Pink. This is the in color that's going to be going away at the end of our annual catalog. Oh, that's right, Allie. That had slipped my mind tonight. You've got 2 people there that you had to look after, and then your husband. How did that go? Visited for 2 hours, 2.5 hours back. Well, we will keep them in our thoughts and prayers. I did add them to my list. It had just kind of slipped my mind tonight while we were crafting. I'm glad you had safe travels. So I'm going to show you what I did with these 2 baskets. I kind of like the look of just monochromatic on the baskets. You know, these we did so that we had multiple colors in here. And then I had pulled out some of the designer series paper that I thought I could weave in some colors there and make it look all right. Here's how it looked doing embossing folder on our basket. So we tried a whole bunch of things. And Jeanette, if you have this, Allie actually came up with the idea to just cut these slits, because with the die, let's just go like this. This should fit. With the die, these are they're slits part way up. Okay. So what Allie suggested, and it turned out to be an awesome idea, is if you're going to be putting the scalloping on the top of your basket, if we just slit these all the way through, then we can weave in and out from the top without having to worry about winding through. It worked out really good, and I really like that idea. But I had come up with an acetate or a window sheet carrier piece, basically like when we used to do faxes and you had something small and you needed to run it through the fax machine and you needed a carrier sheet to help it go through. Well, I did that, but I also discovered that if I put 2 of these together in my little carrier sheet, and I already did this for the pink baskets, that's why I was a little late, because I was putzing and then I lose track of time. But with the carrier sheet, then it makes it easier to weave this in and out than with just using the cardstock or the designer series paper. Now I have 2 strips in here, so when I pull this carrier sheet out, I can separate these 2 strips. Oh, that's a cute idea too. Ooh, I hadn't done that before, but that's kind of cute. So anyway, squirrel. What I did then was, when these were on top of each other, I separated them the right way. All right, so I separated them, one at the top and one at the bottom. So I got 2 done at the same time. And then we could do the third one individually with the opposite weaving pattern. So those I started at the bottom, and then this one I'll start at the top. And that seemed to work out pretty good as well. Okay, so keep that in mind, that makes it a little bit easier if you're not going to cut the tops. All right, so you can do 2 at the same time and then just split them. All right, so that was just for example. And I think the pink baskets or the white baskets look pretty cute too. All right, so let's, I don't want to stick this on here just because our experiment is going on the inside and I'm not sure if our experiment is going to work. So let's kind of finish making these baskets that I got started. We're going to go ahead and put the grass. Yeah, I really like the pink one. It just looks so clean. Clean and fresh. You know, you could probably even cut the handles off and make that basket into something not Easter. There's so many possibilities when you are imaginative. Sometimes I just need somebody to make a suggestion And then it's like, oh yeah, that's a good idea. Let's go for it. So there's dies for all of these pieces. So the grass, the slats. So several of us in this group already have these sets. But like there's a single die to do all of these slats, 2, 4, 6. So you can do 8 slats all at once. So you don't have to worry about trying to slice that through your trimmer. The basket comes with the slats already in there. There's the grass, the scalloping. There's a little chick. There's an egg, a bunny, the stem, a tulip, some flowers, the daffodil head, carrot, another little bunny, and the grass. So this has so much going on. I didn't originally order this. When I had the opportunity to pre-order, I thought, oh yeah, that's cute. I don't know if I like it. And then I was helping my team leader prepare for an event that we've got in just a couple of weeks. And she was going to use this set. And I had seen some of the things in the catalog, and I thought, you know, they're cute enough, but I just didn't know if I wanted to get it. But then as we were preparing things, it's like, oh yeah, I'm going to have to get this set because it is adorable. All right, so those are going to go there. Let's go ahead and put these daffodils together. I'm not sure which ones I'm going to use. I cut the Daffodil Delight ones, and then I have Peach Pie because I'm going to make those centers a little darker. But then I thought since I had the opposite colors, I may as well do those too, right? That'll look all right, won't it? And then I've got stems already cut out for those. So let's just do a little bit of gluing here. And I'm going to just put the glue on the under piece because that's a little bit smaller. Well, it should, yeah, that piece is a little bit smaller because the die, there's a single die that cuts both of those pieces. So you don't have to worry about having a really small die for that flower center for the daffodil. So these will be cute. I don't know if I'll use all 4 of them or not, but I figure I've got the pieces. I may as well just put them together. And then we'll put a little bit of glue on here. And I wonder if I made that too. No, it'll be good. We'll just line up that petal right on there, and then there'll be some good stability. So because I did some of my die cutting ahead of time, that's why I was a little bit late for a little bit of crafting. Oh, and I guess we're only going to do 3 because I only did 3 stems. I thought I did 4. But that's right, we usually do things in 3s anyway. So that's fine. Maybe I'll just put that on top and it'll be like one of those jumbo daffodils. All right, what else do I have? I have a couple of the carrots. So I use the die. So there's just a single carrot die. So I cut it once with the Timid Tiger, and then I cut it again with our Shy Shamrock. And we're gonna cut off the tops. Oh, and I had just a scrap that I had run through an embossing folder. I don't know if you can see that. In fact, maybe I should zoom in a little bit for everybody. I forget that sometimes because if you don't say anything, I don't necessarily think of it. But this is using an embossing folder. Let me see if I can find it. I thought it was one of my new ones. Well, I'll find it someday. It's here somewhere. So I already had a little scrap that was embossed. So I figured, you know, carrots have some texture. We're just gonna go with it. So I'm going to just trim these carrots and make them rounded at the tops. If I can pick them up. We'll just cut off that timid tiger little foliage on there. And then we're going to put some glue here. So like I said, I cut it out of the shy shamrock as well. I didn't cut out the whole carrot because I figured I don't really need it. I just wanted to have a little tab here where I could glue. And that's why they're not both exactly the same. It was just random. And then we'll just put these little carrots on there. There we go. There. All right, so those are cute, don't you think? And the flowers are quite pretty, aren't they? They kind of, I almost cut some of these from this paper pumpkin add-on because the tulips are really cute too. But those are daffodils, so I figured we'd do the daffodils. All right. And then I have a bunch of bunnies because they have a tendency of multiplying. So now let's go to the experiment part of our projects here. And I need 6 of these, so I'm going to take 2 of these back. Because I'm going to weave these in and out of the side pieces that I'm working on here. And you can tell that I've made some folds in here. So I folded in half and then not quite in half again, but I cut off the curvy part of the basket so that this is just a straight edge. Okay, does that make sense? But we're gonna go ahead and basket weave here. And I'm gonna do it with 2. Whoops, I don't want that piece, I want this one. And we're just gonna do a little experiment. We're gonna see if it works. Does anybody have any guesses what our experiment is gonna be? What's your guess? Or are you saying, yes, they're cute? The comments are sometimes delayed with my iPad, so I'm not always exactly in real time. So when I did the scoring on these, because the slats are already cut in there, it was a little bit of a challenge to get them folded. So I think if I was to do this again, if this works, I would probably cut the pieces that I need. These are Well, they're just the sides of the baskets, or the basket bases that I cut the handles off of. A planter box, that would be a possibility. That would be kind of cute, don't you think? Not quite the plan, but that's a really cute idea. Good guess. All right, where's my little carrier? The one thing about this little carrier piece, it's clear, so sometimes I lose track of it. No clue. That's okay. So that carrier sheet, if you've not been here, the first night I was struggling with this, makes a big difference. All right, so push those down a little bit. A wagon. Oh, that would be a fun thing. Nope, not a wagon. I want to have these spread kind of similarly, or spaced similarly. Cut circles for the wheels. That's a cute idea. Yeah, the wagon idea is a good idea. That would be really cute. And that would put this to use at some time other than just Easter, because that would be like a whole summer kind of a wagon of wishes sort of thing. You know, you could put treats or whatever. Cute idea. Now I could have cut the tops off of these, but I opted not to because they're folded and I didn't want anything to come apart. Okay, I think those are pretty close to lined up. They don't have to be exact, I suppose. A basket for the baby bunnies. That could work. All right, I'm going to put that up there so I don't lose it. Now, let's go ahead and try to fold this again, because now that I have the little slats in there, these need to be kind of creased again. So anyway, I think I was saying before, I would get my baskets about the approximate size that I needed. I would probably do my score lines. I have these scored at a 1/2 inch. And then just center it on there and then cut the basket out after I have it scored. A train. Well, that would be kind of fun too. I hadn't thought of that. All right, so we are going to glue this on. We're going to make a bat. Oh, I need to put that scallop piece on. Let's glue that on. A train 3D basket for the card. We're getting really close because that's going to be our experiment. We're going to put it inside the card, not on the front of the card though. but we're definitely doing 3D. Do you remember that beach bag? What was that called? A pop out for the inside. Yep, we're gonna try it. That beach bag. What was that called? I can't remember what it was called. It's one of my favorites. But that was designed to kind of do a 3D bag because it had score lines already in the bag. So we're faking it. I made my own. And we're just going to see if it works out. It might not. I don't know. Because it's in my head, but I didn't put it out on paper. Sometimes that's a little dangerous. All right, so I'm not worried about cutting these off because they're going to kind of be on the inside, but I suppose it might look neater on the inside if I did have them cut off. So I guess I'll cut them off. Let's get rid of those little scraps. All right, so let's put a little bit of glue on here. And I want to have this pretty well covered. I don't want it thick necessarily. I just want it to go edge to edge. All right, and we're going to put this on this side. And I think if I do it like this, maybe, because I need to see the bottom. Because I want it to be kind of straight, so hopefully it'll work. Oh, we'll see. Hopefully it'll work close enough that you feel brave enough to give it a try. It might not be perfect, but it might get us to prototype stage. You can do the side pop-out card. What's a side pop-out card? I don't know that I know what that is. All right, so then we're going to put glue on just these other little parts. It's a picnic basket. That does look like a picnic basket, doesn't it? But it's an Easter basket. And we're going to line these up. We'll decide later if we are going to glue the handles together. I don't know if we will or not. That could be a cute picnic basket though, huh? All right. So that's pretty close. All right, so now I have a piece. Yeah, sometimes I do better with visuals than I do trying to read the comments and figuring it out, because I'm a very visual, tactile person. I can sit and I can listen to like a lecture or stuff, you know, the audio. But I probably do better if I'm reading a book or taking notes, even if I don't ever look at the notes again. But then when I do it, that's when I do best, is when I can do it. So I have a piece of the Pretty in Pink that is 1 inch by 2 inches. I have it scored at 1/2 inch, 1 inch, and 1 1/2. And we're going to put this in here. I could have made it wider. Actually, I am going to make it wider. That was for my faux sides in case, never mind. Act like I didn't just say that. I have a piece that's 1 3/4 inches by 2 inches. All right, so 1 3/4, because that's about the size of the base, by 2 inches, scored at 1/2, 1 inch, and 1.5 inches. That's what's going to go down here. So that's going to become the bottom of our bag. So let's go ahead and put glue just on the open, like the ends, not those two middle pieces. And then once we do this, and if it works, I'll be very excited. And if it doesn't work, then we'll analyze why it didn't work. And then I will try to fix it. And then come back with suggestions on how to do it right. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and fold that. And then we're gonna put this inside our basket. And we're gonna give that just a second to set. And then I'm going to rinse the glue off my fingers. I love having a sink in my craft room. All right, so here is kind of our moment of truth. We're going to put this in here. Oh, I can tell you right now, when I was laying this in here before, oh, it's all right. Whew. I was going to say, when I laid it in here before, the handles did not hang over the edge. That's why I only did it as a 1/2 inch. All right, so now I'm going to put glue on one side. I suppose, does it matter which one's cuter? I don't think it really matters. So we're going to put glue on here. All right, and just kind of eyeballing where the center is. All right, and then we're going to put glue here. And again, I'm not putting thick glue, but I'm putting it pretty much so that the whole thing is covered. I have a preference for the multi-purpose liquid glue because in my experience, at least where I live, it holds better than even like the tear and tape. For 3D items, I have better luck using the Tombow liquid glue. All right, so when we open it up, our basket's gonna open and we can put stuff in our basket. So we could also have done a movement card where we just put little steps in here and it flips up, but I was too worried about the basket extending past the edge of the card. All right. So now let's go ahead and glue our stuff on the front because I'm happy that that's going to work. So how's that? How's that for an experiment? Now I just need to make sure that I put this on the right way. So we're just going to kind of decorate the front. So it'll be cute. And then I will play to see. I don't think a gift card will work in landscape, but it might work in portrait mode. You prefer art glitter glue? I avoid most things glitter, but you probably already know that. You've probably heard the glitter story from my granddaughter. My sister-in-law gave her like a princess dress that had all kinds of glitter on it. She sent it home with us. But of course, my granddaughter wanted to put it on before she came home, and there was glitter in the truck. There was glitter in the front hallway. There was glitter all over the living room. There was glitter in the dining area. There was glitter everywhere. And that just stresses me out. So my dad was living here, my husband, they saw how stressed I was with all of this glitter. I was actually still kind of irritated with my sister-in-law for sending a glitter dress home. But that is, it's just, I don't do glitter. So the boys had to clean up the glitter. All right. So this has a little crease in it because I was probably reckless getting it together. So because there's bulk in the middle of this, if you mail it, you're probably going to need extra postage, or put it in a padded mailer, or just hand deliver it to somebody. You know, if you've got a child that you're going to give it to. I kind of wanted it up on dimensionals, but because it's got so much bulk, I'm just going to attach it flat. All right. And we're going to put our little bunny. Do bunnies eat carrots? Bunnies eat carrots, right? Should we put the carrots on the ground or in the basket? Yesterday we had one of our little bunnies. That hand is not, some of the inking didn't go through how I wanted it to. So let's try this journaling pen and see if we can fix it a little bit. I don't think I like that either. It would work, but I'm not going to. We're going to get our, so there's no glitter. It's just called glitter glue. I could probably handle that then. Although for me, I generally use just Stampin' Up! Products, unless it's just something that Stampin' Up! Has nothing similar. All right, oops. My little blade came out here. Let's get that back in. All right. Got a malfunction here. There we go. It helps if you turn it right to tighten. So let's just cut out this little arm. Remember, I kind of struggled with this last night, getting his arm cut out. So that it could hang over our basket last night. Well, Allie, I'm glad you are going to try to recreate this, because it really wasn't that hard. You know, you just, the sides that I did, it was the whole length of the basket. So when I did the sides, all I did was straight cut with my trimmer across there. You really wouldn't have had to, because when I put the scallop pieces on there, those are a little curved too. So you could probably just snip here and here to take the handle off to do your sides. All right. And then just fold them in half. And then at about a 1/2 inch is where I have them scored on each side to make that basket. And then here on what's attached to the inside of the card is just a 1/2 inch on each side. So these I want to be longer than a 1/2 inch because I didn't want it to open up entirely square, right? Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. All right, so let's go back to our little bunny here. We are going to give our bunny a carrot. That's a really big carrot, but I love it. And because I cut off part of the inked part, I'm just going to make these edges. Maybe the journaling pen won't work. Oh, there we go. I could get like a Secret C alcohol blend or something. Just don't want it to look all crazy white at the tips. All right, so let's put some glue on our carrot. Thank you for all the hearts. Oh, come on. There we go. Can I draw a picture of what I did? I can certainly try to do that. I can certainly try to do that. Whoops, I'm not doing that, I'm doing that here. So our little bunny, I want his ears to be up there. I'm gonna put the basket kind of crooked. And we'll have the bunny kind of tucked so we can't see the bottom of his feet, I guess. But I think I'm going to put his head on dimensionals just to kind of pop him out a little bit. The basket I can glue down there. So let's just see if we put glue just at that bottom there of his legs. Let's put a couple of dimensionals here on the back of his head. Right. And then we'll put glue on the bottom of the basket. Now I'm avoiding putting glue where the slits are because I don't want it to ooze through to the front. And his ear over here is kind of holding that side of the basket down, the basket handle. I could probably put a little, oh, that's where I can use this little, you know when you get the little glue goobers on here, I usually roll them off and just put them in the garbage. But I thought, you know, I might be able to use that for something because it's really sticky. So I'm going to use it right there. And because it's a little thicker than a glue dot, it helps stand it up a little bit. So now let's put another carrot maybe down here outside the basket. Should we put that on dimensionals? Because there's no bulk down here. Yeah, dimensionals for that maybe? I think that'll work. I love all the hearts, you guys. Thank you. Sometimes an experiment works out the first time. All right, so I'll just put the little carrot. I think that way maybe works a little bit better. And then maybe if I put a little glue on the tip of the carrot, then it'll help when you're putting it in the envelope maybe. I don't know, we'll see. It might be inconsequential, who knows. And then these daffodils, We're going to go here. Maybe we'll put one on the inside. Because I did not decorate our Easter basket. I think maybe that'll go there. Because the Easter basket, I figure what I can do is put a little bit of tissue paper in there. And then let's find a gift card. So if our gift card goes here, it'll work. It will not work this way because it's too big. You could do it diagonally. You could have a gift card, but make sure that you put a glue dot on it so that it sticks, because the way this card is, if it's not affixed in there, it's going to fall out. All right. So just make sure you put a little glue dot in there so it works. And we could get a little tissue in there. That'll work. So let's put this one over here. And I still need to get a sentiment for the front. So we'll have to figure out if we want to say Easter's on the way, or what other sentiment is in here. Happy Easter. Oh, hello, spring. That could be fun. All right, so this is going to go on the inside. I want it over here just because for balance in my eye, this leaf is longer, so it needs to be on the right. It's just a weird, quirky thing for me. All right, and then these we're just going to put here. And there's already bulk in here. I'm just going to do a little bit more bulk. Yeah, you could even put like money in there. You couldn't really put any candy unless it's something thin like, I don't know, like Airheads or a small piece of Laffy Taffy or something, you know. Because it's going to be, it'll be more than a 1/4 inch with these other dimensionals on here. For us, we can only do 1/4 inch. And then you need extra postage. I got a little smudge on the bunny's eye. Maybe that little bunny is going to have eyebrows. Because I don't like that little smudge. So we're just going to give our bunny some eyebrows. That's cute, actually. Glad I made that mistake. See? Smudges? No problem. All right, dimensionals. And I don't know about you, but I cut all, excuse me, I cut all the little bones of my dimensional sheets. I had somebody in one of my classes start throwing one of those away, and I'm like, oh, no, we save those because that can be used. Nope, that's too big. Let's cut this in half again. I might just have to glue down those leaves. I don't know. Those are pretty little. But it worked. Usually I would use tweezers for this, but you know, my scissors are right here, so. Yep, if it can be used, I'm not throwing it away. That's like when I get to the end of my glue bottles too. Man, I'm tapping those on the table, forcing everything I can out of the end of the bottle. And I need a little bit of glue on the bottom of our stems here. So since I already have this other one on my card, I'm just going to kiss these together and give that one a little bit of glue. And hopefully I've left enough glue on this other side that it'll be fine. Okay, this needs to be on top. There we go. I like the dimension of the daffodils on there. All right, let's put my gift card away so I don't lose it. That is a real gift card. All right, and then what do we want to do for sentiment? Did anybody say? Do you think Hello Spring would be good? We could put Hello Spring right on there because we got the flowers there. Yeah? If I would have thought ahead, I could have stamped it right on there and embossed. But too late now. Definitely too late now. So let's do this on, I think we'll do it on white. Oh, I happen to have a little postage thing. Nah, I don't want that. We'll do some Secret C here. But now the Secret C is an in color that should be going away, but it has been so popular because it's darker than Night of Navy. I'm going to do this right in the middle because I'm going to fussy cut that. It's darker than Night of Navy, but not as dark as black. So it's got a nice full color, but not, so it goes with so many things. So I'm wondering if Stampin' Up! Is gonna hang on to that color for us or not. But Petunia Pop, Summer Splash, Shy Shamrock, not Shamrock Shake, Peach Pie, and Pretty in Pink are all in colors that are done with their cycle with the April ending of the catalog, April 2026. So keep that in mind. If there are in color things that you do not have, you'll want to consider ordering them before they're gone. Because once folks start realizing that, oh my goodness, it's going to be gone, that stuff usually sells out pretty quick. All right. And you can see on the inside of my stamp sets here, I put a piece of copier paper. April 4th. No, April, where's my catalog? It's the end of April, May 6th, May 4th. May 4th is technically the last day of the annual and this mini catalog, okay? But getting them sooner than later is usually a good idea. Which date are they going away? I'm sorry, Rosa. I was yeah. I misspoke a little bit there. The annual catalog, when that one closes, is when those in colors for 2024 to 2026 will go away. The ones from 2025 to 2027 will continue. And that's going to be the, oh, Secret C is going to stay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, Secret C will stay. My mistake. We got another year of Secret C. Cloud Cover, Darling Duckling, Timid Tiger, and Strawberry Slush. Those are the colors that are staying. All right, so let's do a little fussy cut here. So when I have words like this, and they're kind of casual printing and they're kind of bumpy letters, I just kind of randomly go up and down with the scissors because nobody's really going to count whether I'm doing the bumps right. right? It just looks like you're following, kind of like when you don't know the words to the song, and if you're in a choir and you just sing watermelon, 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 it looks like you're saying the right thing. Because nobody can tell. I'm just saying. Oh, that's a little big. We'll do that one there. All right. Okay. Hello, spring. All right, let's get this covered and put away so that I don't hurt myself, right? I love those extra crafting tips. You knew we had these, right? For the Take Your Pick tool. This rotary wheel makes a perforated line. That's a craft knife, and then that's there's a hook, like a weeding hook. I traded it out, and I have the weeding hook in my thing all the time now because you never know when you're going to need it. All right, what else do we need on here? On the inside, we should probably put maybe the other bunny. We could maybe put the bunny in there. I wonder if that would work. Let's try something. Since we're doing experiments. Oh, that's not what I wanted to do. I wanted the bunny side to be, let's cut this off. That's what I intended to do. We're going to leave that there. And then we're just going to make a little post for our bunny to stand on. Good thing it's only paper. All right. Let's put, I should have kept that longer because, well, let's just put the bunny up higher. Let's try a bigger piece of paper. Good thing it's only paper, right? Let's see if I have another piece of, I do have another piece of pink. A scrap. Thanks for hanging out with us, Rosa. Let's just see if we glue our bunny on here. What do we need to do? Because I want to have the bunny kind of in the middle of the card somehow. So if we have the bunny about that high, we'll just kind of fold it here. Thanks for playing with us, Jeanette. Appreciate you stopping by again. It's been a while. And then I'm just going to fold this again. And we'll snip this off of here. We'll put a little bit of glue on the bottom. And at least he'll stand up. So I'm going to put it on that back side. So he'll kind of flop around in there. But if you put, it's not quite in the center, you could do it so it's more in the center, but I didn't want to mess with the fold either. Then if you're going to put your gift card in there, the gift card could go behind the bunny. And you could actually put a glue dot on the bunny to keep the gift card in there. That's kind of cute. And then let's get the stamp that says, for you. So we've got Hello Spring. Whoops, sorry. And then we'll say Happy Easter. I should have probably done some stamping before I did all the gluing of our experimental basket. But if all else had failed, I could have certainly put an insert piece in here. But I don't feel like I need to because this is a thick basic white. If it was regular cardstock, I would have been more concerned about having it reinforced. Ah, I missed the top of Easter. Beautiful. It's a risk, but with the photopolymer stamps, it's usually worth taking. All right, so that's it. That's our card tonight. So there's our front. We could put some gems on there, but I think with these extra items, we don't really need it. Maybe some Wink of Stella, though. Everything's better with Wink of Stella, right? I haven't used Wink of Stella for a bit. Let's just Wink of Stella up these carrots a little bit so they look like they've just been washed instead of just plucked out of the ground. And then, of course, our daffodils need some Wink of Stella. Nice. That works. And then when they open it, they get their little gift card in the basket. Fun. All right, well, thanks for being brave with me. And I will get I will get some kind of a drawing set up so that you know what I've got, what I used for this. And I'll try to have that by tomorrow. Usually I don't do my cards like this, but that's the only way that I can get that basket to work because it doesn't have the same effect going this way. Oh, well, it might. I like this way better though. Cute. I suppose it would help if you could actually see there. They're adorable. And I could actually add like some eggs and stuff in here too. I might do that and come back tomorrow. All right, should we play with this a little bit more tomorrow or not? Should I move on to something else or do this set again? This set's really fun. Well, hello, Shilpabera. Who are you and where are you from? Welcome. Hopefully you've been watching and just not commenting, but I love it when new people show up and joining the fun. If you were here earlier, I apologize if I missed you. I'm just kind of scrolling through. I don't think I missed you. So welcome. Where are you joining from and what's your first name? The more the merrier. All right, so I still have some leftover pieces too. So, Easter basket still tomorrow or something new? Something different. What do you think? I'm open to ideas. I love it when an experiment works out. All right, let's get these washed while you folks are considering what you want to do tomorrow. Something different it is, because I've done this for several nights in a row now. I'm still curious who our new folk is here. All right, well, I'm going to call it a night. Feel free to come back again. I go live every night, somewhere around midnight. I used to say between 11 and midnight, but now it's around midnight. But that's what works for me. Because that's when my house is quiet and I can be a night owl and just enjoy the peace and quiet and get creative. So thanks for joining me. Have a good night, Allie. I'm glad you had safe travels. And I'm glad you got to visit with your family. All right, until next time, happy crafting.